What was the first 600 pp play? A question that seems simple at first, but has many asterisks attached to it. To understand why this question is apparently so hard to answer, we have to take a look at the time period where it all took place in OS. In early to mid 2015, OS was a fairly different game in two main ways. The PP system was primitive and prone to change often, and the way that beatmaps were ranked was somewhat different. Starting with the first point, the live PP system was being actively developed and balanced back then, which meant that changes could be made quick and often. If there was a certain skill that seemingly gave many more points than it should have, then a change could be made in a week or two to balance everything out again. To those familiar with the current state of the PP system, it seems almost improbable now that it would be fixed so often or quickly. On the other hand, there was one slight difference to the process of ranking a map that had a noticeable impact on the global ranking. Back then, qualified maps awarded PP and scores weren't deleted upon becoming ranked, as opposed to now where they don't reward any PP and all scores are deleted upon rank status. So if you were to set a score on a map while it was qualified, then that would count towards your top place, and if it reached rank status, the same score would still count. The story starts in early 2015 as three major players are all trying to get number 1 at the same time. The incumbent HVIC225, the newcomer Index, and the veteran Wubblewolf. Each of them had a different skill set that they excelled at more than anyone else, whether it be speed and aim and precision, or precision and reading respectively. To start, the current PP record at the time was 560 PP held by HVIC225, but each of them had been trying their hand at potentially high plays. Our first contender for world's first 600 PP play was Index's 97.62% hard rock 1 slider break on the last journey home, which was worth 609 PP. His unparalleled hard rock ability on aim-intensive and streamy maps, along with the rising difficulty of the ranks section, netted him the record by almost 50 PP. The only problem is that the map was qualified at the time, and indeed was disqualified 6 days later, deleting his score and resetting the record. Not to worry though, because the next score was set on a ranked map, so there's no way the score could be deleted. Wubblewolf saw the potential for PP in high CS maps and used his specialty of old and weird maps for his gains. His 98.36% FC on Sakura Kagetsu Double Time Hard Rock, which weighed in at 603 PP, was great until 2 days later an update was rolled out that nerfed high CS and his play was reduced to 524 PP and the record was reset once again. Coming back to challenge the record one more time, Index's 98.14 Hard Rock FC on the last journey home sealed the deal and was made official when the map was ranked 2 days later. This was finally the end of the race to 600 PP. So, let's get back to the original question. Which one of these is the real first 600? Well, it depends on which of the following three camps you fall under. Either 1. A score breaks the record if it is set regardless of the map ranking process, i.e. Index's 609 PP play. 2. A score breaks the record if it isn't disqualified regardless of changes to the PP system, Wubblewolf's 603 PP play. Or 3. A score breaks the record if it is neither disqualified or nerfed, Index's 607 PP play. Each school of thought is correct in its own right, and it just depends on how you personally would like to view OS history. There's actually a lot of ambiguity between then and now, and you can choose to look at things with whichever lens you'd like. For example, does a play still count for the record if the map was ranked but then became unranked, which has actually happened? Earlier in 2015, and before any sort of touchscreen nerf existed, Cubster set a 577 PP play on a Tag 4 map, and as a result, the maps became no longer ranked as to not give any PP. Or even simply asking who set the first 8-star FC seems like it would be more concise. In the lens of the past, it was Xarius on Gangsta DT in October 2015, but using the current star rating, the lens of January 2020 says it was Keenan on DMC over a year and a half earlier.
Oh, that's FC!
Almost any question you can ask that should have a definitive answer doesn't, due to the disconnect between and differences of then and now. To finish this, I would say that there is a fourth camp too, which simply says each of the plays did break the 600 PP barrier, so despite what happened afterward, they are all the first 600 PP play. I also want to quickly mention Silver, who may have set the second 600 pp play with a 99.78% on Ice Angel Hard Rock, worth 614 pp that was soon nerfed after to 592 pp, but that's a whole other can of worms.